Hello everybody, we're back to do a second video of the day, and today is November 13th of 2025. What we're going to need to do is start back regarding the dog that was accidentally shot. When you thought the dog was a rabbit and you shot him, where did you end up hitting him on his body with the shot?
I shot him in the left hip, is where I shot him.
And basically he was just kind of yelping, I guess.
Oh yeah, he was yelping all right. So was his owner, yelping a little bit.
So Travis Bruce finally was able to regain his composure because Uncle Lick got him to stop being so mad about his dog accidentally being shot. And it's actually not funny, but it does have its humor. What ended up happening to the dog? How long did he live approximately after he was shot?
Well, I know Lick kept insisting that let's go on and take him home, because it was on they could get the doctor that had treated him before that particular day that they were taking him back in, that he could see this particular doctor. And I know I didn't keep up with him, but I understand that he died months later. He didn't live all that long. He didn't live no 2 or 3 years or something like that.
Right.
But he did die probably because of that shot. Got into his system, I guess.
Right.
And went throughout his system.
Well, it was an accident, and when you've got a lot of dogs out, which he would have had a lot of dogs out, I would take it the beagles.
Well, they was
half a dozen or more.
There was 4 or 5 hunters that I know of besides him hunting in that party, because they knew the land that they were hunting on, and pretty well knew the layout of the land and could go wherever they wanted to. But it was the first time that myself and whoever was hunting with me, we stayed in the same place just about it, is what we did, because it was a pretty good sized area. It was over in the Claypool area only. It was over past Harrisburg a little bit, is where we went had rabbit hunting.
Approximately how many dogs did they have in the group?
Probably 6 or 8 or something like that.
Right.
Was in the party.
So an accident is possible. The shotgun that you gave me that I have now, the Browning, do you remember when you bought it, where you bought it? And of course, everybody wants to know what you paid for it.
Well, I don't mind telling you. It's I bought it from Western Atoll, where your Uncle Lonnie worked, and paid $100 for it, I believe, or maybe a dab over 100.
Was that a brand new gun or was it a
No, it was
secondhand?
His used one, secondhand.
But it was very lightly used.
Oh, it was like a new
looks
gun.
Slightly used now in my gun safe.
Because you hadn't used it any at all.
All I shot it just to try it out, and that's all I shot it. And then I oiled it up.
but it's a good gun.
Oh yeah,
It's a Belgium-made
Browning.
Browning.
The reason it's got that built on kind of like on the stock, the shock absorber kind of rubber thing,
Yeah,
is that because of the length of that barrel and the amount of force and the way you're holding it to shoot it up in the air to duck? What's the point
I
of that?
I think it's just a recoil to help take the load off that shot as it backfires on you is what it's doing.
So was the where you bought the gun at? You said did you say a Tasco store? Was it the guy who owned it, or just somebody in there, or had it consigned, or what was the story?
No, it belonged to the Western Auto,
The man.
to Shaw Furniture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you think you bought that gun for about $100?
I think it was about $100 for what I
Yeah,
paid for it.
that's
I was
incredible.
dealing with my brother.
So
That's
he was able to get you that
one
family
time.
discount.
One time yeah,
Well,
nothing like a good discount.
no. Um,
But you wouldn't pay no $100 for it now. I don't
no.
know. It'd be on up there what the price of it would be.
I would like to know, not for any reason to sell it, because I would never sell it, but
I
I
have.
would like to know because it's got all the etching on it, and
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
a upper level gun.
yeah.
And if you bought it, so you bought it after you got married, so what approximately 57, 58, 55, you think you got that gun approximately?
I uh, yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah,
And
in
then how old do you
57
think the gun would have been, guessing, when you got it? Years?
was in such good shape it just hardly was ever used, and
Huh.
I just don't know.
Maybe I can find the serial number on there and do some back checking and find out about the
Yeah,
gun.
it's got numbers on it where you can call. I think
Um,
if you know who to call.
I wondered about what was your average day that you went to school, and what clothing did y'all wear back in the 50s? Did you, like today, you got on blue jeans, I got on blue jeans. What did y'all wear to school? Did you wear blue jeans overall?
Blue jeans.
Blue jeans were big back then, just like they
Right.
are today.
I don't know what I wore
And then just a
growing
shirt,
up.
button up shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't have like, did they have pullover shirts? You recall if they had pullover shirts, t-shirts and stuff? And
People just didn't have a lot of clothing then. They
yeah.
didn't have all the extras that we've got today.
So was your mom having to wash clothes um, for the kids all day? As they came in constantly,
Yeah,
did she have a washing machine and a dryer, or did
she
she have a wringer, or what did she have?
she had a
Clothesline?
washing machine and a dryer,
Really?
but she also had a clothesline out there just in case. Because she'd been so used to hanging them all out.
Right.
Uh, it was all in a little stage at one time. Because there's five of them, and it seemed like about every 2 years one would come along.
Yeah. Here comes another kid.
Here comes Lonnie, and then myself, and then Dorothy May, and then Franklin. Or was he the baby? He was the baby of the bunch, I think. I know he's the biggest one now of the bunch. He's about like some of these guys we got around here right now. He'd fit right in with some of them that works here. especially with a maintenance department.
Um, did you? I know you mentioned one time you had a job while you were in school, working at maybe the dry goods store or some kind of store. Did you?
Yeah, it was a dry goods store.
Was it
Yes.
after work? I mean, after school work or weekends or what was it?
Well, it was mostly on weekends is when it was,
What did you do?
and the
Stock,
holidays.
take stuff out, load, deliver? What happened?
Whatever, yes. And before then, I worked at a grocery store right downtown called uh, Stignanny's grocery store because my dad and mom they shopped over at Buck's Grocery
Right.
over across on the other side of the railroad, so where
Mm-hmm.
his place was. But I first got grounded, I guess, in the grocery business. But I just started working at one fall, and I was driving a truck, and anytime somebody wanted to be delivered home, I would take them home in their groceries and drop them off and leave them. They just didn't have no way to and from.
Did you? Of course, they probably paid you by the hour, the grocer, but did people do tips back then for doing any kind of extra little bit of helping them carry their groceries? Or, I mean, did you get a quarter, a nickel, a dime? Did they even do that?
No, it was unusual because they just felt like it had already been into the groceries.
The cost
The
of,
cost of everything
yeah.
was part of it.
What, which job that you had, do you recall what you were being paid by the, did they pay, I'm assuming they paid by the hour.
It was probably 50 to 60, 75 cents an hour,
Right.
something like that. Uh, and I don't remember.
And you were happy to get it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was that
Because
your money, or did you have to take it and combine it with the family money?
no, I'd usually take my money home to my mom.
Always.
Yeah.
Everybody had the community pool, put
Well,
in the money what for the family, so everybody
as
can eat, and
as
this one can have this.
as
And
far as I know, when Lonnie he started working, whatever he was doing, I don't recall if he was, but he worked for the Western Auto and they paid him pretty good.
because he
And
sold stuff.
yeah, he was. He just always made good money. It's what he did because he was had worked there as a kid, I think, for 3 or 4 years, uh, and I'm sure they probably raised him about every year.
Right.
But he never did tell me what he was making. I just, as long as I was making some money,
Uh,
I didn't.
did your mom kind of give you a little bit extra out of your money so you could go
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd
to
always
the
give me.
uptown?
I'd always need enough for chochos. That was my food to eat. I mean,
Chocho
oh,
is a vanilla ice cream cone dipped in chocolate.
right. That's all it is. You get one of them on a Saturday and maybe two or something, not in you. Feel like you
That's
whooped
your treat, huh?
whooped the world.
Um,
One time I wasn't eating Doc's hamburger.
do you recall when you got your first vehicle? I mean, your very own car or truck, and what it was,
Yeah,
and maybe when or what it was as far as the type.
it was a '51 Ford
Is that a car?
two-door car, and I didn't have it paid for. There was a doctor in Memphis gave me money to go buy it, like $300 or $400 or whatever what it was, and I paid him back.
How old were you when that happened?
I think it was about uh, a month or two before I got married.
Yeah.
I had started working because I'd already finished school, and school was starting back, and I needed me and Sam Hartzell was bunking together because we wouldn't drive back and forth to Mark Tree to Memphis because we both worked at the same place. He got me on over there. Sam did.
What job was it?
That was a Fruoff Trailer Company.
What kind of trailers were they welding and building?
They were building tractor trailer rigs, the big ones, 40-foot long or
The frame of
yeah.
And they just was it the manufacturing of the plant and
Yeah,
y'all welded it and all that?
it was a plant that I worked at, but
Did you weld?
I didn't do any welding. I was beginning to do things like hang the doors on the back of the trailer whenever I had my hand in. I'd go get my doors for that particular trailer, and as I was coming back, I had my hand over the top of the rig that I was pushing, and it caught my finger because as I was going through the fire door,
Yeah.
it caught the fire door, and it pushed the doors back on my fingers. Didn't hurt them real bad. Boy, it just it really hurt for a while. That's what it did.
Remember which hand or both hands?
It was both hands that I had was pushing through there. But I'd already
worked. Keep on working.
I'd already worked my way up to there, and I sure didn't want to lose my job doing that. But before then, I had been working long enough. I was driving a thing that you sit on and punch holes in the floor of the tractor trailer that had the wooden floors in them. And most of them that we were putting out then did have wooden floors in them.
Reason you were punching those holes in, was there somebody coming behind you putting bolts?
There was another guy putting screws, putting them in there, and then another guy was coming behind that, screwing them down.
And so the first guy's sitting in the hole, and the man trying to follow him at the same speed is putting them down.
Well, they would be.
Was it like an air ratchet he was doing it with, or was he using something manual?
Well, I'm trying to think. I know I was drilling the holes, and then somebody else was coming behind me,
poking it in there.
And I think they were putting them things in there, as they went, because you couldn't. You just couldn't you couldn't work around a bunch of screws sticking up like that, if they didn't get them down.
This guy sticks it in there, and then this next guy's putting them down, it down immediately.
Yeah.
And then he sticks it, and then it comes down, and it just keeps on going.
Right.
Because you don't want 10 of those sticking up in the.
No.
Something could happen.
Well, it'd be something, it just wasn't a good idea to leave them things up.
What did you have any other jobs while you were working at the trailer plant? Were you trying to work another job, or was that your full-time income?
No, I was working some at night over to Dog Track in West Memphis.
West Memphis.
Because we lived in West Memphis, and I'd go right by there all the time.
What was your job there at the Dog Track?
It was selling tickets, win, place, or show,
Were you
And
like in a little booth thing, or?
well, they had kind of a cash register up here, and the guy would look at this machine and pick out the dog that he wanted to win, place, or show, or whatever it might be, or Quinella. He's going to try to do that, comes in first and second. Uh, and I made good money, better money at that than I did at anything else.
Do
And
you recall what your weekly salary was at Fruit Hall back in the day?
no, I just remember one time uh, our superintendent, uh, they would be, I don't know, 8 or 10 or whatever it was, people working in the office. And there at the cotton department where I was working my regular job. And he asked me one day, he knew I was working over at the dog track. He said, how about getting me these particular dogs? And I think he had about 4 or 5 tickets he wanted me to buy. And they were $1 to $2 a piece is what each one of them cost. And I forgot to get his tickets because I was too
Did those
busy.
dogs win?
Because I was too busy trying to figure out what I had going on.
Yeah.
And I had his numbers and everything down there, and I didn't get his tickets. And I told him when I went back in that next day, and I was trying to think of his name, and
But did any of them win, place, or shelf?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So he wasn't happy.
they was one or two. He was in the money,
Yeah.
and I think I went on and because I had the money to give to him, I think
Cover the bet.
yeah, to cover it there. But I'm trying to think. But as you walked in the office there, you'd always see this guy sitting on the back desk, but he'd be sitting on top of the desk with his feet folded underneath like an Indian. That's the way he sat down on this particular desk. But he was a good old man. Because he let me off the hook a little bit. He didn't cuss me out or whatever.
How old were you when you were doing that job? 18?
No.
Or had
See,
you
I was
turned
19 when I married,
right?
but that was well, it was about that time though, because we hadn't been married very long. So, well, we've been married a year, I think, at least, before I started working out there at the dog track.
Well, if we digress and go back to school,
Did you say would I?
I said, we could digress and go
Oh,
back to school
oh,
and talk about school. There was a question I was going to ask you.
well,
Whether it be school or town, do you recall any kind of event, a big event that occurred where somebody came, or a certain thing that was out of the norm? I mean, like a political figure. I know the president's not going to be visiting Marktree, Arkansas, but do you ever remember a certain politician came in, or you know, an astronaut, or did y'all ever have a big thing occur at Marktree that was a big event?
well, we had a new theater dedicated, uh, and there was 3 people, and I used to know who they were that came there.
Were they movie people?
They were movie people.
Like people that acted?
Oh, I know the reason they came there. Uh, he had two brothers, uh, Dick Powell. You probably heard of him. There was a guy named Cotton Powell, and then he had a brother that went to school there. Let's see, Cotton Powell, Tommy Powell was his brother's name. Tommy and Cotton, they both went to school there, but they had a brother that went to Hollywood and made real good. He was a good actor, and
What kind of movies did
he
he
had
do?
uh,
Not westerns, just all kinds.
whatever kind there was to do at the
Yeah,
time, because he could ride a horse or
right.
you know.
And his name
Name
was
was Dick
Dick
Powell.
Powell.
Yeah, and I remember Cotton Powell was um, he was a pretty good football player. He was a small guy, but he I remember the day that Dick Powell came there because they went out to the old field and they were getting ready to close the thing down, but they fixed it back up because they didn't have the new football field yet made and finished, and and that's where they played the ball game. And I don't know who was playing. I just
Well, did Dick Powell come to because of the movie theater was
I think it was a new movie theater had been built there.
and he was coming in
He
for
was
the
coming
opening
to
ceremony or
yeah,
whatever,
it
cut
was
the yellow
going
ribbon or
yeah.
whatever you cut.
Well, they had a stand out there built up as big as this room right here for the dignitaries and everybody to come and do
And
their
him
speech, and but it all was for him is what it was for.
welcoming him to the town.
But there was another movie star came there. Um, my goodness, I didn't think I'd ever forget that guy's name.
Was he well known?
He was well known, a Western movie star is what he was.
Well, the only one that really comes to mind is Roy Rogers.
Well, Roy Rogers and uh,
John Wayne.
no,
He didn't come swaying into town, huh?
no, he was
The way he walks.
I don't know
No,
what years that was that
uh,
whenever he did that
shoot,
was
he made from it was either the very very late 20s or the early 30s all the way till right before he passed and whatever 70 whatever that was.
yeah.
Because he did a bunch of movies.
I cannot think of the name of that guy's.
Well, maybe you'll come
I
up with
will
it.
maybe the next trip I know
Well,
who it was.
and it may come up again later on today, and I can write it down, and we'll be able to talk about it. But
Okay.
you mentioned your buddy Buster Smith and double dating.
Uh,
What did a double date consist of? The movie theater and eating a hamburger?
that's about it because
Did y'all leave town and like go to the city and drive his car around, or and look at the
well,
big city, or
we usually stayed right in
in
town. That's what
town?
we did. Drove around pedaling and getting a
Didn't go burn
kiss,
up gas and drive
getting a
all the way
kiss
to.
every now and then.
What was the closest larger city to Mark Tree from where you're at? Memphis? West Memphis?
Was West Memphis and then Memphis,
Right.
and the others is just wide places in the road. Some of them, just like Harrisburg Corner.
Parkin and Maynard.
Well, I never did. There was one girl down at Parkin that I used to go down there, and she always reminded me of a movie star, and I don't. It's no use me mentioning her name because I thought the world of her, and I thought she was a real pretty woman, pretty girl.
Now that was at school.
But this was a school that I'd met. I don't know how. I think we just met through boys going down there and girls meeting in cars or something like that. And of course, we couldn't stay in our own car. We'd get out and move around and drive down here and park a while and kiss a while and come on back
Yeah,
and head back home.
go home. Did you ever, speaking of West Memphis and Memphis, did you ever go to anything big that you remember as a kid there? Was there anything that ever happened other than did y'all play West Memphis in basketball or football, or were they too big?
We didn't in football.
Were they tough?
They were tough.
Because they were a bigger, higher up
Oh,
division, bigger
oh,
boys,
they had a bunch of boys that
and bigger team.
they had so many more boys to choose from.
Yeah, larger
Is what it
team.
was because it was large. I remember we tied them in score whenever they came to our place. They came there first, and then we played them later on in the year.
At their home field.
And I'm glad you mentioned it because I had forgot about running a touchdown on a kickoff.
Did you? How far did you run?
I think it was 92 yards.
92 yards.
I still got the clippings from it.
The newspaper clipping?
Yeah, I still got the news.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for your Aunt Dorothy, she would keep things like that. She was like my girlfriend at the time. You know,
Yeah.
she would get all the clippings.
Keep all your stuff for you.
And somewhere or another, I've got a lot of clippings from my junior year and my senior year.
What year did the two colleges contact your coaches? In your senior year, they had an interest in you a little bit?
It was my senior year, yeah. But that was about the time I was beginning to go with your mama, with your
senior year.
mama.
Yeah. So during football season is when you recall that you think that started your dating of mom, as far as what you remember or recall?
I think we started dating my junior year.
Okay.
Is about when it was, and it had been 1953 is when we really started dating, and I was able to. Of course, Lonnie was gone, and I'd be the one to have the pickup truck.
So you had a way to get around.
I got out of that Studebaker.
Yeah.
Got into a cab of a truck.
It's kind of interesting that we hit that point there to be able to get close to stopping, but I think it's time to let the cat out of the bag about you and mom. How old were you when you got married?
I was 19.
How old was mom?
She was 16.
Yeah.
Just old enough.
And we might as well finish the story. To get married, and I don't remember what the deal was. Your mama, my grandma, and
Yeah.
mom's mom, my grandma.
Yeah.
And you two had to go to a different state and get a marriage license to get married. Didn't you? Or did a different city?
Yes, we went to Tupelo,
Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi is where we went to, just right outside of Memphis. But we went to Tupelo you can get anything you wanted to down there. I mean, go to the courthouse, get your license,
Yeah.
take that on to a judge, and he'd pronounce I do, and you're married.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. But there's a little more to it than just that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
well,
it's not a formal ceremony. It's a simple ceremony, but you had two witnesses, and all you need is one. Yeah. But you went to Tupelo, Mississippi, and you got married. Now, Everybody's wondering, why would you get married at 19 and 16 years old? In your mind, why did you do that?
Because we loved each other.
Okay. That's what matters.
That's it.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And for 65 years, and no longer than that, all the way to this day, you still have that. You never let it go, and you still feel it. That's what we're going to start with next time.
I don't know whether I don't know whether we can or not, Mark.
Well, we'll try. We may go back to school age stuff because there's a lot of stuff to talk about school age, and we can still talk about mom and school stuff, especially because of. I'm sure there's another interesting story or two, other than you chasing a guy from her house that you didn't have a big enough motor in your truck to outrun his truck, and he ran away from you. And was able to flee your wrath from your girlfriend. But we'll see where we end up then. And another long video. And it's still morning time here, everybody. I hope the sound was a little better on my end. Maybe the microphone was in the wrong area, or I may have had the thing turned at the wrong position on the switch. So again, unprofessional, raw, unedited video from someone who doesn't know what they're doing, who just learned how to push the pause button. Until next video, hopefully all of you have a safe time and a good day. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Talk to you later.